And now, appointees of President Akufo-Addo are fighting back the opposition National Democratic Congress over claims that they ought to be prosecuted if the president intends to demonstrate that he is committed to the fight against illegal mining. The president, in his address to the National House of Chiefs days ago, called for a bipartisan approach towards the fight against illegal mining. But the opposition National Democratic Congress says unless the president prosecutes his own officers alleged to have been engaging in illegal mining, his call will not be heeded. National Communications Officer for the NDC, Sami Jane Fee, has been addressing the press on this matter.
And concrete actions from you if you want Ghanaians to take you seriously. Number one, we demand the immediate prosecution of all government functionaries and MPP officials who have engaged in illegal mining, such as Charles Bisu, Chama Wuntumi. The evidence is clear. The Minerals Commission, your own Minister for Lands and Natural Resources say Chama Wuntumi is doing galamsey in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. You don't need any other evidence before you can prosecute him. And Yowusu, Ekuawusi, Professor Frimpong Boateng, among others. This will be the first step to your redemption and serve as a deterrent to other people within your government and party. You need to send a clear signal to Ghanaians that anyone caught in galamsey will be dealt with without fear or favor, regardless of their party colors. Number two, Mr. President, we demand that all the so-called illegal mining companies, like the Akonta Mining Company, which belongs to Chama Wuntumi, the Heritage Imperial Mining Company, which belongs to Mr. Donald Ensua, a known financier of the MPP, who have invaded forest reserves without any mining leases or permits, must be closed down and prosecuted. The assets of these companies must be confiscated and their owners surcharged with the cost of the destruction they have caused our environment. We demand that all security personnel, number three, complicit in illegal mining activities should be made to face internal investigations and discharged from the various services to serve as a deterrent to others. Mr. President, until you undertake the above actions faithfully, your so-called renewed fight against galamsey will remain a mirage and a mere talk shop.
Well, so that's the position of the opposition National Democratic Congress. Some of the appointees are beginning to react. We can now hear from Lembele DC Kwesi Bonzo, who told me yesterday that he cannot be lumped up with illegal miners. Kwesi Bonzo indicates that the NDC must desist from taking political advantage of the arduous task of fighting illegal mining.
Never arraigned me before court because
okay, so they never proceeded. They've dropped the matter.
Yes, because the evidence that came out was to the contrary. It was rather the case that I was helping the police fight the miners, and then I became a victim of it. It's unfortunate I became a victim of circumstances, but that has not deterred me from the fight against galamsey. Actually, I was at a meeting yesterday at the former Golden Jubilee Post Hotel in Kumasi, now Lancaster Hotel. And the president was clear in his mind that this is an issue that he takes very personally. And for me, Ghanaians should be thankful to President Akufo-Addo for that bold, decisive action to continue the fight against illegal mining. Because even when the president has issued those directives since 2017, when the president has showed commitment and determination to fight illegal mining, look at where we are as a nation. I have consistently said that actors in the illegal mining business are so many, they transcend party lines, and that there's no way we can win this fight if we continue to politicize it. It's just unfortunate that the National Communication Officer of the NDC will take the stand that he has taken, which is in sharp contradiction to the stand of his own flag bearer. In 2020, former President Mahama was captured on video telling his supporters at a rally that anybody who is arrested and in prison for galamsey, when they come, he will give them amnesty. This is a clear statement of undermining of the fight of
yeah, but Kwesi, how different is that, for instance, from what we're getting from Sami Jefi this afternoon? He says that the president told you as the DCs in that engagement that how well you deal with the issues of Galamsey will further your chances of breaking the 8. That's also a political statement, isn't it?
No, that is not a political statement the way Sami Jefi wants the country to believe. You see, this Galamsey issue has become a double-edged sword. If you fight it, then NDC will fight you and go and support Galamseyers. If you don't fight it, they will fight you and say that you are not fighting Galamseyers. In my constituency, in 2020, whilst I was embarking on anti-Galamsey operations, the NDC party in my district, in my constituency, Elembele, took advantage of it and went telling the Galamseyers that, look, this guy doesn't have your interest at heart. To the extent that I lost all Galamsey areas in my constituency as a parliamentary candidate. Recently, some 23 Galamseyers were arrested in my district and were prosecuted and were fined 2,400 Ghana cedi, which at the time I thought was even not deterrent enough. It will surprise you that the NDC took a position that they will have to get those people for the punishment.
Yeah, but I guess some would say...
The NDC has taken a position that they want to be always the winners in the fight against Galamsey. If you fight Galamsey, they will go on the side of Galamseyers, use every means to let Galamseyers understand that you don't have the interest at heart.
Yeah, but... Well, more appointees are joining this. Charles Bisiu served as the secretary to the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining that was set up way back in the early days of President Akufo-Addo's tenure of office. That committee was set up to deal with the issues of illegal mining. However, after an expose by investigative journalist Anas Anas, the NDC is asking President Akufo-Addo to prosecute him. Charles Bisiu is joining us via Zoom now. Thank you, sir, for your time. You've had the address by Sami Jefi, National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. He says if the president will be taken seriously in terms of the fight against illegal mining, he needs to start by prosecuting your good self. Your take?
I think where we've gotten to in our country, I've always said that the Galamsey issue is not a thing that we use or politicize it. Sami Jefi as communication officer who holds a position which used to be called propaganda secretary will of course milk the situation because the system Ghanaians want to see the indicators they are looking for is one, to see that our water bodies are clean, there's transparency in what we're doing, and also compliance in what we're doing, and the monitoring of it so that we actually benefit from that. I mean, the citizens are also looking for us to protect the environment in terms of the economy and the ecology as well, and then also save it for the future. So, I mean, they'll milk the situation. And for me, the NDC, anything that would actually help them come to power, they will use it. Now,
so what you're saying is this is the usual political gimmick by the NDC. And while you talk to us, Charles, you'd have to be a bit steady so we don't have your camera shaking from time to time.
So basically, they're milking the situation. By milking the situation, I mean that this is a political party that wants to win power, so they would say anything to, sway voters to their side. But I am saying that it shouldn't have gotten to this point, in the sense that, 6 years down the line, the president formed the Inter-Ministerial Committee to actually deal with the menace. And then there was this Anas thing, that's which I defended up until now. But you'd realize that in the first 4-year term, I kept mute about certain things. Because in our society, we have a situation where you think that they're adults and stuff like that, and then there are certain things that when you're entrusted with certain positions, you don't actually come out and then speak, because you first of all have to think about the nation and the way things are going. So I thought, okay, maybe I should keep mute and all that. But if you realize, if you actually look at the situation, ever since this Galamsey thing came, I stepped aside But stepping aside, I shouldn't even be commenting about it. But every time that there's an issue about it, I come out to speak. This should tell you that I have nothing to hide whatsoever. But my bone of contention is the chairman of the committee. Because I've seen the president going back and forth. He and I were entrusted with a certain job. We're given the mandate to actually do something. I've never had Professor Akufo-Addo come out to say something. And I think that for them, the adults, they should leave something for us, the next generation, to actually want to hold on to. And I'm not saying that for Professor Akufo-Addo, because 500 excavators and all that, that statement was reckless and it wasn't true.
I recall at the time when all of this started, you stepped aside for investigations to be carried out. We're not sure if that is conclusive.
What wasn't conclusive?
What exactly were you told? I mean, after that whole event, what decision did the president take on this? Because at least that's not public to us, so we're not too sure of what may have happened.
That's not the crux of this discussion. The crux of it is that the police did their investigation and exonerated me. The special prosecutor carried out his investigations as well. But I feel that, for example, the former special prosecutor, Martin Amitu, he was the country duty of care as well. Because the investigations that he carried out, I believe that he came out and the statement that I issued yesterday, he said that there was an issue of identity. And at that time, he actually invited everybody. So I would wish to see the handover report that he gave to the new special prosecutor, who was the lawyer for Anas in that matter. You get my point. So all I'm saying is that the chairman of the committee, everybody, the job that we were given, okay, we were supposed to ensure that we sanitize it. So I owe a duty of care to my nation. He owes a duty of care. He came out to say that 500 excavators of the economy, which wasn't true. And you realize that I issued a statement yesterday that in 2019, when he came out to talk about 500 excavators, I wrote to him. I didn't go public and copied all the members of the committee. If I had anything to hide, I wouldn't have even written to him. And I shared that letter yesterday. All I'm saying is that Professor Akufo-Addo, if he's got nothing to hide, should come out, because enough of Charles Bishop, and then where I know that I've done nothing wrong, my job was to actually serve my nation, and I did it to the best of my knowledge, and I was vilified and all that, but I kept mute. Now, the NDC are milking the situation because somebody mentioned 500 excavators, which in fact wasn't true. It wasn't true. You understand? So if Professor Akufo-Addo knows that he hasn't been negligent, then he comes out to say, if he's negligent, come back. Apologize to the nation and say that there was nothing like 500 excavators, which I did explain yesterday. And also all the things that are happening in the country. Because the whole integrity of the interministerial committee was tainted. And he, as a chairman that I worked with, knew that I did nothing. At a point, he came out to say that Charles Bishop was the one and who did certain things and all that, and I wasn't expecting that from him. And you realize I kept mute because the most important thing was not about being on Professor Akufo-Addo. It was about our nation, that the right thing must be done. So if Charles Bishop was going to be sacrificed for our water bodies to be to be clean, and then people to have the mining sector to be sent, then so be it. But I've waited for years and it's not happening. And I think I need to come out to clear my name well. And now everything that I know, I have come out to speak it, because I've sat back and watched what is actually happening, and nobody's coming out to say the truth pertaining to the Anas issue. Anas never came out with any video. Everything was orchestrated for my party people and all that, which is fine. But I'm saying that this issue of Galamsey, you understand, if it needs to be solved, we shouldn't give the NDC the mileage to even talk. Because the roadmap that Professor Akufo-Addo led as chairman, and me, the secretary, and 10 cabinet ministers to put together, I think is the solution to solve
if you say that, the NDC will come at you because they would say you're setting double standards. Your flag bearer at the time, now President of the Republic, made it a political matter. So clearly, you can tell that it will continue to be a political issue going into the next elections, and that's why, of course, as a political party, they would capitalize on it. I'm interested now in the issue about the police report. How about making excerpts of it and the portions that exonerate you public? Are you open to that?
Sorry.
Charles, I'm just, yes, I'm talking about the aspect, the need to make the public, the police report public, portions of it that exonerate you. Exactly what are the details? Because these are just matters we are hearing of in the public.
No, I don't think that's the crux of the matter, really, because the police exonerated me. I mean, you, as the fourth estate of the realm, you can also write to the police and get your findings. You understand?
Yeah, but you are telling me, I'm taking your word for it. You're telling me that the Ghana Police Service exonerated you. What was captured in, what was captured in that investigation? You'll be challenged to that, isn't it?
To what?
As to what exactly the police, position was on the matter.
No, okay, the police report said I did not circumvent any procedures, and then basically exonerating me. Anas never came forward with the videos that were expected from him and all that. So basically, the police went out.
And you're sure this is contained in the document you're referring to?
Exactly, yes. It's been shared. It's public knowledge. I wrote to the police and got a copy from it. So I'm asking you to do the same thing.
Yes, and Charles, that's where many believe you would be helping the public if you put that out. I guess it ends the debate, isn't it?
And I don't think it's been out over a year now. The police report was out in 2019. It came out last year, and it was all over, and everybody knew that I've been exonerated. Now, the special prosecutor, Martin Amidu, he did all his investigation. So he can ask him too. I've written about 4 petitions then to them for them to come out with it. I don't know the handover that he did, but at the time that we wrote to them, I realized I heard that in the IPA report, he came out to say that there is an issue of identity. That's the guy who came to record and all that. But at this point in time, the water bodies, those are the indicators. Those are the things that the Ghanaian is looking for. And I'm saying that the committee was formed by the president to deal with the specific that we owe a duty of care to the Ghanaian public. So, me, the secretary, if anything at all, I should be jubilating and saying that, okay, because Charles was kicked out and everything, these things were plotted against me, whatever was happening, I should be happy. But I'm thinking about the next generation. And that, if the fact that something like that was done to me doesn't mean that I should sit and look and watch things happening. Because it's a 4-year term for the president, and we are in the second term now. So there's a certain legacy that we have to leave for the president and everyone else that's set in the government. I don't want my name to be attached to corruption. I don't want the presidency to attach to corruption. If it is true, then it is. But it wasn't true. So we've created something to exist. And I've been saying that we, as a member of the committee, the secretary, and Professor Proposmati, we owe a duty of care. And that 500 excavators that were mentioned, we never had it. And the statement I brought out yesterday testifies that.
In fact, Charles, because we don't have all of the time, let me round off with you on 2 issues. I'll ask you about your colleague in the NPP, Chairman Wuntumi. He's come up. But before that, would you call for an independent probe by the Office of the Special Prosecutor into all of the names and appointees that have come up as a way of clearing the names, if indeed they are clean as you're pointing us to?
Which names?
All the appointees mentioned by the NDC as having involved themselves in some way of a sort in activities of illegal mining.
In my introduction, I said that they'll propagate it, they'll use it, and you know the situation. Any citizen who feels that something should go to the special prosecutor can write to the special prosecutor to do that. For me, I have Martin Amidu, I went before him several times. I gave my statement. Anybody who was supposed to be invited was invited. So I think we need to look at it individually. But what I'm trying to say is that the NDC are actually coming on a premise without facts. For example, if President Mahama says that I'm going to return all excavators to all seized excavators to those whose excavators have been confiscated. In the first week, we don't have 500 excavators. We didn't have that. So President Mahama is wrong. So he doesn't have any business coming to be president of Ghana again, because if you're going to be the president of Ghana, then you have to have your facts right. Number 2, Sami, if he said, I was actually demanding money and all that, you realize that it is propaganda. So I don't think we should dwell on it. The indicators that Ghanaians are looking for, and now it is not the time for us to do politics with it. I've said that Galamsey is the only area that you do not find political colors It is the money that brings people together. And I'm saying that let's look at it as a partisan approach, because you see, all those doing it, be it politicians, pastors, chiefs, and all that, okay? When you go to the mining site, you don't find them there. They are living in Accra and then do whatever in the big cities and drinking bottled water and all that. And those people that get arrested only get out, you understand? So it's a matter of actually dealing with it. Let's dwell on the roadmap that the president brought and then go through it page by page. That is the benchmark that we must.
Yeah, so let's get to it. Let's be objective. Have you heard of the name Entry Bosiako? Of course, Chairman Wontumi, as we popularly know him. This is someone who happens to be a stalwart of the New Patriotic Party. How come that it's taking us so long for us to know that he's been illegally mining in the Tano Forest Reserve, and your interministerial committee was unable to detect that for all these years?
Where's the premise? When did he start mining? Did you have that information?
Regardless, you know him so well.
No, but the question you're asking me means that you know when he started mining. At the time that the interministerial committee was doing its work, we had no idea that there was certain things like that. Because I remember that concession, I went there with the team and then we took drone footage of that. And I remember when we went there, we seized 2 excavators, 2 high-touch excavators. They were orange in color, and we brought them to Accra. I've been there.
And they all belong to the same individual, correct?
No, at that time I do not know, because you see, when you go on the site, that's what I'm saying, that if it's a pastor, a politician doing galamsey, when you go on the site, you cannot arrest the person. At the time that we went there, but Wontumi said no. You know, when President Akufo-Addo's government started and there was a ban, he came to the office and said to me that he's not going to indulge in mining until after the ban is lifted. And that when the ban is lifted, you know the way he speaks, when the ban is lifted, he's going to make sure that he shares all the concessions in Ghana. You know he'll do it. I took that as it. He was joking, like, you understand? So for me, to the best of my knowledge, we did not see him mining. All I'm saying is that I went to that site, seized 2 excavators, and I remember when I spoke to him, he said I'd take them to Accra because it does not belong to me, and somebody's mining illegally on that site. That's what we were told. And I'm saying that too. I have photos of it. I can share them with you. 2 high-touch machines, and there was a report to that. That was written by Francis Asidi Abu. You understand? So all I'm saying is that whatever we're doing in this galamsey thing, we owe a duty of care to this nation. And I'm saying it, and I'm reiterating on it, that Professor Prompomati should come out with the truth. 500 excavators and things that happen. He should speak, because Ghanaians are looking at me. He has a credibility capital. He needs to come out, because you don't sit there for somebody's reputation to be destroyed when in fact you know the truth. It shouldn't happen. And I'm sad because the NDC have gotten something to talk about, which in fact they shouldn't, if I adhere to what the president has tasked us to do.
Anyway, Charles, we'll meet again definitely to extend the conversation, but for now, let's leave it here. Thank you, Charles Bisu, former Secretary to the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. We'll get to some of the reports we are hearing of in the Ashanti region.